Look what the Irish Whale and Dolphin Group sent me. It was one of the decorations that was up at the ECS conference and I got sent it in the post. So I'm gonna stick it up on my dolphin door here. So one of the questions I get asked a lot is, how do dolphins sleep? And it's a really good question. How do you sleep and stay swimming at the same time? It used to be thought that dolphins would haul up onto the beach at night and sleep on the shore in much the same way seals do, or that they dove down to the bottom of the seabed, they made a little pillow out of kelp or something like that, and then they just stayed down there for the night. In actual fact, the truth isn't really anything like those two theories, and when it's explained to you, it actually seems pretty simple and quite logical. When humans sleep or are knocked unconscious, we breathe without thinking about it. It's what stops us dying while we're resting. It's a pretty handy thing to do. But dolphins are conscious breathers, which means that they have to actually think about going up to the surface, opening their blowhole and taking a breath. So if you have to think about breathing, but you don't think about anything whenever you're sleeping, how do you sleep and not drown if you're a dolphin? It's something that puzzled most scientists for years because dolphins don't have a set day and night cycle the way a lot of land animals do, and they couldn't figure out how they were sleeping. But over the last couple of decades we've made a lot of progress in this field and we're now pretty certain we know how dolphins sleep. Basically, they shut down half of their brain at one time. I know, crazy, right? They shut down one half of their brain and they rest it, and then when this half is rested, they shut down the other half. So they're never really truly in a complete state of unconsciousness. They kind of catnap, I guess. So the active side of the brain controls the movement and the breathing of the dolphin, while the unconscious side gets its rest. Some species, such as pilot whales, will exhibit a behaviour called logging whenever they're resting, and basically they just kind of bob on the surface while they rest. Other species just take shallow dives and they just cruise along beneath the surface of the water in between their breaths. This whole resting one half of the brain thing seems to work pretty well for dolphins, but there is one problem with this type of behaviour. Dolphins use echolocation, which is a type of sonar, to build up a picture of their underwater environment, but you can't echolocate whenever only half your brain's in operation. So sensing incoming predators becomes practically impossible while a dolphin's resting. To get around this pretty serious problem with their resting habits, not all members of a pod will rest at one time. Some of them will rest, some of them will feed, some of them will socialise, and all the while the ones that aren't resting will be keeping a lookout for predators. This is why scientists couldn't find a set day and night cycle for dolphins, because basically they do everything all the time. This ensures that there's always at least one dolphin with an eye, or echolocation, open for predators. Eh? The expectations, and when I say expectation, I actually mean exception to this, is spinner dolphins like the ones I was studying in Egypt with Hepka. Now, spinner dolphins have to feed at night because that's whenever their prey comes within their diving range. Because they do so much at night, they have to rest during the day, which means that they can't spare anyone to keep watch. So to avoid being eaten by sharks, spinner dolphins will rest in a shallow lagoon or reef with a light sandy bottom. Samurai Reef in Egypt is a perfect example of that. And they rest in this type of environment so that on the off chance that a predator will come into such shallow water, their one awake eye will see the silhouette of the predator on the sandy bottom, and then the dolphin will wake up and they'll be able to react accordingly. So there you have it. Dolphins rest by shutting off one half of their brain, and then when that side's rested, they shut off the other half. I hope you all enjoyed this little informational video, and I hope you all learned something too. I'll see you all next time.